For immediate lower back pain relief, I stretch the hip flexors, quadriceps, lumbar extensors, and glutes. These are the muscles that get tight from sitting and cause a lot of pain. To manage my spondylolisthesis and pars fracture, I needed a quick and easy stretching routine, and that's what I'm going to share with you now. This takes 10 minutes. I'll use a yoga block at one stage in this routine, but I'll also show you what you can do if you don't have one. So we're going to start by really just loosening up the lower back. My lower back gets really tight. I've got spondylolisthesis, so this is something that I do myself regularly, and you just put your fingers on your kneecaps and gently pull them back like this. And the idea is that you just get your pelvis to come off the ground, and you're just teasing the muscles in the nervous system so that it just relaxes. Like the nervous system, a lot of lower back pain is because the nervous system is just tightening up the muscles as a protective mechanism. And by doing this, we're just loosening everything up. So we're trying to just get the pelvis to just come off the ground and then back down, okay? And then what we do, we go a step further. We interlock the fingers behind the legs. Try to really create a flexed spine here so that you can rock gently back and forward. And it's the same principle. I'm just trying to loosen up those lower back muscles. But here what we're also doing is by contracting the abs, so we contract the abs to get the lower back, the shoulders off the ground. What that's doing is activating the antagonistic muscles to the lower back and telling them to switch on and do their job properly so the lower back isn't taking all of the load. Okay, now this next one I'm going to do with the yoga block, but if you don't have a yoga block, you can just do a child's pose like this, because a child's pose is really good for lower back pain relief. So we're going to lay down, grab the yoga block and put it under our pelvis, okay, and legs together, completely relax. And we're going to go for 60 seconds. Now the reason why we do this, you might be thinking, how is this a lower back pain stretch? Hip flexors, tight hip flexors are one of the major causes of lower back pain. So a lot of lower back pain, and especially if you suffer the way that most people do, where you're sitting down all the time and then you get up and your lower back really hurts. It's a part of it is because the position that we're in when we're sitting, it puts the hips into this really flexed position. The hip flexors get really tight. The lower back muscles get really tight. Their core muscles just sort of switch off and stop doing what they're meant to be doing. And so we need to really increase flexibility in the hip flexors. So we look at stretching the glutes, we look at stretching the lower back, we look at stretching the hip flexors. Those are the three main areas that we do in a stretching routine that's specific for lower back pain. And this exercise alone really gives me a lot of relief. All right, that's it. That's 60 seconds. Okay. And then what we'll do, we'll go into our first glute stretch. So we'll just do a 90-90 stretch. So 90 degrees in the knee and hip here. And this hand on this side, so it's my left leg forward, left hand. What I'm going to do is try and push my shoulders this way, so I kind of get more over this foot, and then we're going to lean forward as much as we can. So the idea is that we're trying to get our chest down towards the foot, not towards the knee, towards the foot, okay? And if you rotate, if you move side to side, if you go up and down, play around with those 3 points until you get to a point where you're like, okay, there's a good stretch. And that's when our 30 seconds starts, okay? So I'm going to start the 30 seconds now. So people really misunderstand this 30 seconds hold per stretch to get flexible, because if you look at what I did just then, the 30 seconds was not, like me getting into the position, that was not counted in my 30 seconds. And that's really important to understand. You don't count that time that you're getting into the stretch. It's once you feel the stretch that you start your 30-second timer. Okay, so I'll change sides. So right leg forward, left leg back. I'm going to push my body over towards this foot. So I'm pushing this way, coming forward to try to feel the stretch. You can rotate, you can go up and down, you can go left to right, but you get to the point where you're like, okay, there's that stretch. We're trying to feel it in the glutes on the front leg here. And now I'm going to start my 30-second time. Okay? And 30 seconds is a really good time to hold a stretch. And the reason why, because when you go over 30 seconds, the returns that you get, the increase in flexibility, they start to really diminish. It's not really worth it. What is worth it is doing more sets and doing it more times in a week. So rather than sitting in one stretch for 2 or 3 minutes, it's better to just do 30 seconds, but do it a few times on each side. That's really valuable, okay? All right, now this next stretch, I absolutely love this one, but we're going, actually, you know what, we'll do a child's pose first. So even if you did the child's pose before, do it now. If you can have your feet together, that's really good. And the reason why, sorry, your knees together, is because I'm looking for more flexion in the spine when I do this. I want my back rounding. Sorry, the microphone was probably really loud then. If you open your legs up, your spine will extend more. You won't get as much flexion in the spine, as much rounding. And I'm trying to get that nice stretch in the lower back. I didn't get to see my clock there, so I'm not sure if it was 30 seconds. But if you look up now, what you want to try and do is try to round up through your back. So lower back first, bum back on the heels, and then come up all the way. Okay. This one's a little bit more challenging. You may not be able to do this, and if you can't do it, it's fine. If you can't do this one, try to just come forward, and if you can't touch your toes, if you're not as flexible as me, that's fine. Just try and maybe grab onto your legs, sit up as straight as you can, but see if you can do this stretch first. So we want to come right over like this. I'm trying to avoid that microphone getting clamped because I know it's going to be really loud. Okay, just trying to touch your feet to the ground. You're going to feel this a lot in your hamstrings, but it's also going to hit the lower back as well. A little bit longer, just 30 seconds. All right, nice work. Okay. Now we do another hip flexor stretch. So this time we're just going to lunge forward like this and just allow your body to sort of rotate into it a bit. Because that kind of gets a little bit more into the TFL, which is a part of the hip flexors. And we're just really trying to get our body to just fall forward here. So just dropping down towards the ground, getting that 30 seconds in. A little bit longer. Now, if you really couldn't do that last stretch that I did, where I rolled over on my back there, just don't worry about it. Don't do it. It's in this whole routine. That's the only stretch that to be able to do it at least the way I did. So change legs, rotate towards the front knee. That's the only stretch that was really required a bit of flexibility to be able to do. All of these other stretches, it doesn't matter if you're not as flexible as I am, it might not look the same, but just by doing the movements, you will see an improvement. And if you're doing this routine, I can only imagine that you suffer from back pain. This routine is designed for immediate relief. That's it. If you want a long-term fix for lower back pain, I'll share a video at the end of this routine for you to do. It's about a 15 or 20 minute routine, but you have to do strengthening exercises for long-term fix for lower back pain. Okay, now we're going to sit down and we're going to do a few rotations. So from here, rotate as far as you possibly can. Look with your head, okay? Put your hand on your knee and push. Hold for 30 seconds. So I'll just check the timer. If you're getting value out of this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and if you've got any friends that you think would benefit from this, please share it with them. Say, hey, I found this cool video on YouTube and it really helped me. It only takes 10 minutes. And pass it on, share the love. Okay, a little bit longer before we change sides. Really going as far as you possibly can, rotating all the way around. Okay, let's come back and now we do the other side. Turn your head. As far as you can. Rotation's really important. I don't do any loaded spine rotation in my training. There is research, especially from Dr. Stuart McGill, that suggests that that's really bad for you. And I find that I can get all my training done without doing loaded rotation, but this is not loaded rotation, and we definitely need to rotate our spines. They're designed to do it. So that routine is very, very good to overcome immediate lower back pain, but click or tap the screen there, because that routine is going to help you to fix it permanently, and I really mean that. When you strengthen the abs, the glutes, and also create flexibility in the areas that I just showed you, you can fix your lower back pain permanently. So click or tap the screen. I'll see you in that next video.